started?
Yeah,
Yeah,
well, Jean's missing, unless Jean's not coming.
I haven't heard anything from Jean. I did hear from Sue Levinson, she emailed all of us.
Right,
Yeah.
So
right,
won't
but
be
she had
here.
said last time that she wasn't gonna be here either, or couldn't make it.
Okay,
Was
and
back.
then our other public member from last year was Maureen Campiola, and she emailed me this afternoon and said that she has some increased responsibilities at work. She's finding it difficult to make the meeting, so if we wanted to move forward with another community member, but I believe Charlotte, you're a community member, and then Jean, so whether or not we need a third one. You still have a quorum at this point.
That's
so.
probably fine to have
Yeah.
only two.
Yep.
And I mean, we can pick somebody up if there's somebody shows interest, but.
Yeah, yeah, if somebody's
I
passionate.
mean, we have at least two. I think that's what we sort of need.
Yes.
Agreed.
You're correct.
And then late this afternoon, I received, obviously I just sent you an email because I was trying to get most of the stuff, data entered into, because
Yeah.
there's a lot of information that came in late, including the library. And the library's working through the challenges of trying to pull together quotes. Now that they've had their septic install done, the horseshoe driveway that they were originally proposing doesn't seem like it's gonna come to fruition, so.
It doesn't fit.
No, so it's a matter of that and the proximity to the well. The well, technically, because it's a public water supply, should be 75 feet, and it's already close, I think it's already within 30 feet of.
From the parking lot?
Yes.
Yeah.
Really?
Oh, yeah, it's always been.
Well, I knew it was 75 feet from like
From the
septic.
septic. It's different because it's a
But-
public water supply, so their
Mhm.
regulations are a lot more strict. So now they're trying to pull together information to pave the existing lot and then the lower dirt lot where the old police station used to be.
Yeah. Well, I
So,
don't know if that's lower. That seems higher.
yeah, it is. It is slightly lower.
But,
Down.
Down from the septic. So Jen Phillips is the lead on that, and she's pulled together 3 quotes or 3 requests that are new, but the
Right.
pricing right now is very fluid.
so the only problem is we can't connect the two lots together, and we'd probably have to put in a walkway.
So, but other than that, I think I have just about everything else in from the town side, unless you wanted to address Sue's email about, I
The
didn't
school
incorporate
stuff.
her update into the plan.
We need to call to order. Yeah. We can call to order whatever
Yes.
whatever time it is.
You want to do roll call? I have 36.
Yeah, sure, we can do roll call.
Uh,
We are actually on live?
Yep.
Wow.
Donna Danis, Budget Committee Rep.
John Decker, Select Board Rep.
Charlotte Fife, public member.
And Ellen White, town administrator.
Okay, so did Sue send us an email?
She did send an email.
And
Yeah.
did not get that either.
Oh,
Well, I don't know who she sent that one to.
Which
I'll tell you.
everybody copied up. It says, I am not able to attend this evening. The school district has made a change to the
I'm gonna
report.
reply all.
Based on an evaluation of the kiln, it will move to 2025, 2026. We will place window replacement where the kiln was for 72,000. So I believe the kiln was scheduled for 2029.
So they're moving it in.
So they're moving it into 25 or 26.
Oh, good.
And then they're gonna add the window replacement for 72,000 into that 2029 column.
Interesting, okay. And so,
Window replacement.
that's
Yeah,
something
they
new.
had, on the information that she provided us at the last meeting, there was like 4 or 5 items at the bottom that didn't have numbers.
And the
tagged,
windows
so
were
they were just
not.
kind of placeholders.
right.
It was like, the electrical, the preschool windows, and the technology.
It's a moving target.
All right, so what are we gonna do here tonight?
What can we accomplish tonight? I don't know.
Yeah, I mean,
So
especially with the
everything
board
that you had
meeting.
emailed is in this package?
Yes.
Okay. Just
I mean,
to make sure.
I know how
Um,
hard it is too, but it would be really helpful to get all this stuff before, at least like a day or two before, so we can look at it first.
So the issue that we had was, we have many department heads that are updating something to their predecessors. had created. So
Yep.
then it's between the last meeting and this meeting, it's still pulling that together. A lot of the information stayed the same. There was only a few things that were updated.
Parking lot.
So I mean, we can
Looking
start.
for that. So that's 2025. 2025. Side exit, lower level. Reconstruct lower level side exit.
So is there a sheet here now, Ellen, a worksheet now for everything that's in the towns?
Yes.
Side.
So the updated cover sheet has all of those town requests.
And then this separate one is, oh, that's library, okay.
Yeah.
Right,
Yeah, that's
And
the
that was
one.
just because that was
That's
received
just
later
King.
today.
yeah,
But that's,
gotcha.
that's just 2 worksheets.
3, I believe.
Oh, we have to approve the minutes too, don't we?
Yeah, we do.
That'd be the one thing we could accomplish.
Oh, I didn't read the minutes.
Oh, I see, there's 3.
I didn't read the minutes, or did I read? I don't
August
know, when did we get the minutes? We
Yeah.
just got them,
Yep, minutes.
so I need to read them. If I don't do that.
All right, let's do the minutes.
Short and sweet.
Okay, that's
Yeah,
good,
they
because
are.
they should be. Oh, there's 2 pages at
I
least.
know, I'm sorry. I tried to be short.
You said there are 3 pages.
Oh, okay.
Short and sweet.
It was copy and paste.
Nothing stuck out.
Yeah,
to me.
nothing stuck out for me either.
Fine. Shall I move to accept the minutes of August 19th, 2024?
Second.
Written?
Sure. All in favor?
I
Any opposed? None. All right.
Looks unanimous.
Unanimous. We can move on from that. All right. We did our intros, we did our minutes. All right, so
What do we want to accomplish?
we could talk about the library things, I guess, if that makes sense.
Oh, that's what's, it may or may not if they're still working on numbers.
Right. And no, I know, it's just kind of a quick hit on
She
them.
put flood figures in there, obviously not knowing,
What they are. So these are just kind of ballpark numbers. So the three,
I mean, they're actually better than ballpark numbers because she actually went on and did a search and figured out that the average paving for parking lots costs about $7 per square foot.
mhm. All right, so.
She's pretty thorough.
Yes, she is.
Yeah.
Yeah, so the
That's true.
parking lots now, apparently. Does that consider any of the, does it need to be re-engineered then? Or whatever, because they were talking about doing engineering and stuff, and,
That's a good question.
you know, especially since they weren't really considering that old PD lot. And so is that now officially part of the library?
It is not, it's just considered town property, so it's one of those things that I was going to bring up to the Board of Selectmen.
Mhm.
Just say that's what they're considering.
What's in that garage?
Bats.
Right, is that a building that, I mean, how much room is there? Do we need to, you know, think about, because that parking lot that's there is just a little teeny space.
Very small, yeah.
Yeah.
And I don't know how much property is actually there. Do we need to extend that for more spaces, especially since they're not gonna be able to get the shape that they wanted? And if they're gonna put it on a walkway, they might as well,
I just don't know if they're
yeah, I
you're getting
don't,
into wetlands back there, too.
yeah, I know that, right, the old.
I don't know if this is the right time to bring this up.
No,
or
no,
not,
no,
but-
and it's just more
No,
of
no,
a,
for me, I mean, I was going to suggest, because I think that the old firehouse should be raised, and I was going to suggest that that be graded and either be paved or gravelled as extra parking in that area. I don't think we should sell that, unless there's a tremendous more amount of land back there that I don't know about, but,
I'm kind of potentially in that same,
oh, good, great minds.
you know,
Because
but
they're
I
going to need
mean,
more.
right now, we are collecting rent from it, so that's a good thing. But that property is pretty, it's got an incline and stuff like that, and I'm not sure how much property is actually there
I'm not either.
associated with that building either.
Well, it's all one lot, the Grange, the old town hall, and the
So that's all one
fire
lot.
station is
Okay.
all one lot.
So
it would have to
selling
be
that makes
subdivided.
0 sense.
But you don't have to, you wouldn't have to meet the current subdivision regulations because it's municipal zoned.
Well, they couldn't subdivide it.
Right.
Unless it's again, if we sell it, we
We can't.
we don't know what's going to go there. And potentially could be yet another driveway in an already very complicated area. I'd just like to see the town keep it for future
Yeah.
growth and,
Well,
you know, maybe try to level it out a little bit and make more parking. I mean, there's barely even parking for the SAU.
mhm.
You know, it would be
Right,
nice.
exactly. That was my thought, is like, at the worst, it becomes parking.
And I don't think that's the worst either.
No,
I mean,
no.
I think it would look better than, I
Well,
mean,
no,
it's
no,
really
no,
an
I mean,
eyesore.
I couldn't, I don't think, well, it sounds like we really couldn't sell it unless we sold the whole thing.
Sell the whole thing.
And I'm sure that that's probably,
Dicey.
You would, yeah, you would have to subdivide it, it would have to become its own lot of record, and then you
right,
have to
but we,
figure out where you
it
draw the
wouldn't
line.
fit the
That's
current.
interesting.
But because it's municipal, that would be the one time that you don't have to comply with the subdivision regulations.
Is it business zoned in that area?
Is it the one?
Is it business zoned? about that area? I mean, potentially could it be sold to?
I don't know, actually, I can look, I have it.
And I don't know if it's even big enough to do anything with.
Yeah.
No, I
that's
know,
what-
but you don't want to
Especially-
Yeah, the property
sell it.
How big is it
to-
gonna be
Right.
when you subdivide it?
Right, it's not gonna be big enough to,
I mean, I think it's more valuable to us, and I think with the pressure that's on the library now particularly, they're, you know, they're gonna be asking
Right,
for
between-
more, and that space is not enough for parking for them,
no, and that's why I was wondering about where
not enough for the SAU.
the other, right, it's not enough really for the SAU, it's tight in there. So,
And I'm pushing
It's
to
an
put
acre and a half.
for that whole
the
parcel.
whole thing. Oh, so it doesn't go back too far then?
No, I know
So
it
with
doesn't go
an
back
acre and a
very
half
far.
with all three buildings?
Right,
Okay, so,
I'd hate,
which is a decent sized piece of property, but
for
it's
one
got,
lot,
for one lot, but
Yeah.
it's got 3 buildings on it right now.
right, right.
And I'm sure that that's, you know,
and I'm sure we.
it's not, I don't think it's a deep lot.
That's the next thing I was just looking at.
Right, I
Not
think,
to go.
it can't be too deep. I really don't know where the lot lines are, that I
So-
cannot.
I'm assuming that stone wall in the back behind the Grange is like the back of the lot.
I probably won't be able to see that on the aerials, but
What-
just to give you an idea as far as the frontage, maybe.
And I was really trying to push to get some, I can't even remember what they're called, the ductless heater and air conditioner, a couple of those in the old town hall, so we could at least use it as a meeting space for community.
So
There's
it's 460 feet of road frontage, 145 feet deep approximately.
145 feet?
Yep.
So it is shallow.
Yeah, so that's not.
Yeah.
It seems like it's more than I thought it was.
Still doesn't
But
seem
it's-
like a lot.
It's
Doesn't
still
seem like a lot, no.
But I mean, that would also, like, it looks like the library's need is more immediate,
Right,
right? And that's not something that
That's-
could be addressed soon.
right. I think that the old PD lot, whatever we could do there,
That's not very large either. That's 55 feet of frontage, 48 feet deep, and then it's 82 feet across the back. It's kind of
right.
That's
But
wonky.
that's, so,
rhombus.
How many parking spots is that?
Well, also remember,
quite a bit.
that
It,
is,
it actually does look like quite a bit. I mean, like, looking at the aerial images, it looks to be about half of what the existing parking lot is.
that is.
Yeah, I mean, it sounds like it would be
But
great. I don't know how how flat that, and how, is there any wetlands on that? Can you tell?
I can't tell.
I'm pretty sure there is, because as you're looking at the library, that
drops
whole
off.
left-hand side is wet. I mean, I think in this day and age, it would be,
And when we put
cause
the
a
new
problem.
septic in, it was pretty close to that, the wetlands designation.
Mhm. But whatever we could scrounge off that lot to add to the parking lot.
how much does it cost to raise a building once the lease is up?
Instead, are you suggesting that, John, instead of trying to deal with the lower lot, or in addition to?
No, I think in addition to, because I think they're gonna need, there's not, that current little lot there
Yeah,
is very small. It's gonna add a few more spaces, I mean, which people have been using anyway. But if we're going to spend
significantly.
money on paving it, if we're gonna put money into it, let's maximize the availability of that space.
I think it's not gonna be as much as we hoped. And there's so much pressure in that area. I mean, even the Little League games that, you
Mhm.
know, everybody's parked along the
Right,
road.
right, and then, you know, that they overflow into
Yeah.
those two spaces already.
There is a real need for,
I mean, we could technically make this lot bigger too.
If we even just put diagonal parking. you can
Right,
have
to
it.
put diagonal,
Yeah.
there's,
Yeah.
you could probably add a couple more feet towards the front of the building and put at least a single car, at least on a diagonal in between, have both sides and then a row in the middle, which would significantly increase the parking there.
yeah, that's not.
Both sides and a row in the middle,
Yeah,
like down the middle?
yeah. Yeah.
with all
It's
the,
gonna be crazy.
with all the kids running around.
Yeah, good point. Yeah, yeah.
That sounds like a recipe for
And it is
disaster.
pretty crazy down there on a ball night. And I hate to be that person, but it is right on the river, and it's been flooded before, and it will be flooded again. So I think we do have to be careful. I mean, I'd like to see parking, you know?
A garage?
Oh, no.
That's what you went with.
8 stories, solve the
I
baseball
don't know what
problem.
kind of funding you could send down from the state.
I would like that. No, but I don't know, I'm getting a little married to this idea of having, parking and planting some nice trees, getting rid of that. That building is just, it is so moldy, it needs so much work. The whole retaining wall on the left-hand side is falling apart.
Yeah, no, that building's been in trouble since we built the other one, since we built a new one.
Yeah. And it's a horrible location, and that driveway is horrible.
So relative to, our purpose here, we've got this sheet from the library. Are we asking, if it makes sense for them to simultaneously explore another option such as where the OPD was, so that,
I think they're already considering that where it says lots.
Yes.
oh, okay.
So I think that's part of this, but
A
I
lower
think
dirt.
when they explore that, they need to actually explore it in full instead of just looking at the little piece that's
So
there.
we're questioning if this is the right number based on what they might really need to do.
Yeah.
Okay,
I
so
think
that's,
right, if they're going to look at paving the old PD lot
And the
That-
library lot.
and the library lot, I mean, obviously the library lots, and basically they could do it in 2 parts too. They could do
Yeah.
the library lot as phase A, and then do the old PD lot, whatever it needs, as a phase B.
Because I think there will need to be a little exploration on that
Yeah.
about how far they
Maybe.
can go
So
in
their
there.
narrative says the proposal would repave the existing lot and prepare and pave the lower dirt lot,
Right.
installing the walkway from the lower lot
Right.
to the building.
Right, but they may be able to gain extra space out of that, is really what I'm concerned with, is if we're going to spend money there, let's not,
You want to maximize.
right,
but,
let's
I
maximize
understand
our
what you're
value.
saying. Yeah, and I would bet Jen she's so thorough, I would bet that she has considered the wetlands, and she probably knows or can find out how many more parking spaces that could actually,
right, because
Be
that garage
maximized.
probably needs to go, and,
yeah, I would think so. We don't know if there's anything stored
there's,
in there.
I don't, know. At one point, I know that, somebody was storing something in there, I thought, or at least that's what I was told, but that was years ago.
It's probably still there.
Highway-
Whatever it
yeah,
was.
I think Highway was storing stuff in it.
Highway was using the fire station.
Right, I know, but I thought they were using that one as well. I thought they had some, like a York rake or something in there maybe, or,
It says the garage is on the adjacent lot,
huh?
not in the gravel parking area, according to the assessment card.
So there's another lot there too?
Going down one hole.
I know, I'm not
Yeah.
trying to send you down a rabbit hole.
I know.
So anyway, there's investigation there.
okay.
So, but we could look at 2 phases or whatever, or, I mean, it maybe makes sense not to do it 2 phases, because we can get a better rate,
Better cheap.
but it's something to consider.
Okay, so Ellen, you're gonna go back to them with that?
Yes.
This walkway does look horrible.
Yeah.
Okay,
Oh,
so
on the side?
I mean, it's,
Oh.
it looks fine as part of the nature trail path or whatever it used to be. But,
I can tell you, I've cleaned up there and almost broken my neck. It's mossy, wet, and I'm not sure which picture you're looking at, but the figure 2, immediately to the right of those flagstones is wetlands, and it goes down,
It goes down quick
yeah.
into the wooded
Yeah.
area there.
Ask me how I know.
You fell down?
Okay, so their
I rolled
second,
like a ball.
so their second request is the 50,000, 2025, and that's for reconstruction of the lower side exit, so that's really the flagstone and all of that stuff.
Retaining wall,
The
yeah.
retaining wall.
Uneven rocks installed, new retaining wall, flat level ADA compliant space, that could be tough. Isn't that grade looks a little steep for ADA compliant stuff.
Yeah, I think they just need a flat area just to have someone get out of the building.
Mm-hmm.
And then they would go around the other way to actually evacuate them.
Is there a way out, a different way it's flatter?
Yeah. The right-hand side, as you're looking at the library. I mean, it's not great, but it's a lot better than this left-hand side. This left-hand side is just,
Okay,
Yeah, they
so
just
both
nobody
sides,
uses it.
there's pathways on both sides.
I don't know if there's actually a pathway, it's just grassy, right?
It's
But
just
it's
grassy,
much
but-
less of a slope.
So.
But
would
somebody
it
could
be better
be-
if they put the ADA on that side?
But there's not a, door in the base, in
Well, how does it
lower
get?
floor.
Right,
There's
so there's this
one right
patio
at the
area
back.
where the door is.
Yeah,
right?
that's on the left-hand side,
Right. So
where the
can
steep,
you go behind the rest of that and get around?
well, I
how would you get
think
it?
that would be the idea, is that if you had to get someone out quickly, they'd go out there, it would be a flat area, and then you'd be able to push a wheelchair or get a stretcher in or something and go out the other way, because the slope isn't as steep. Is it like,
Right.
if it's snow and there's,
Right.
No,
Well,
is it
that's
great?
why I'm-
No.
that's why I'm like, should that be the pathway? Should they make that the pathway instead?
I
And
think,
then keep this natural more or less?
I-
And that way they can shovel that other way around.
I get what you mean, but I think that would start to then interfere with the septic, and there'd be so much grading to do, it's so steep.
Well, you know.
I know, I mean, anything could
when
be
they say
done, I mean,
ADA,
if you,
When they say ADA, I start worrying. If they can't meet ADA and you're
well,
trying to do
nothing in
ADA.
there, yeah. I hear you.
Yeah, I mean, it's hard to say when Jen's not here to tell us
Right.
what their thinking is. I mean,
Right.
I think I want to connect with her,
Yeah,
so
yeah,
I
I
can
think
go
we need
over
to hear
there
more.
and see
Right.
what the thinking is.
When I was there a couple weeks ago, I didn't go out back because they were working on the garden.
Boy, that looks beautiful back there.
Yeah, it looked like they were doing a nice job.
It's a nice,
Okay, so wait, so
So the last thing,
the 2 of 3,
So her email to me said that they've received estimates for installation of this on either side of the building. One contractor came in and said that the east side was the only logical option. Another came in and said the same on the west side.
of course.
In short, due to the lot size and conditions, this is going to be hard no matter what. I remain concerned that there's no truly safe exit from the lower level for those with limited mobility.
So it's still open discussion about
Yes.
which
all
side.
right, well, that's
Yes,
good
so-
news, at least they're
That's
talking
good.
about
Yeah,
it.
exactly. So consider
Exactly.
these like placeholders for
Right.
Yeah.
whether or not it's able to come to fruition in 25 as they have it prioritized.
So one guy said one way, the other guy said the other way.
Of course, right?
I guess it depends on which way you're standing, where the north actually is.
well, both
which way
sides
is-
are
So,
not great.
yeah, which way's east and which way's west?
Yeah, I was gonna say.
East must be,
Bring my
if you're looking
compass.
at the building, the right side?
Yes, I don't know.
Okay, so what is the 3 of 3? A sloped pathway? So how does that compare to 2 of 3? What's the
compliant.
difference?
Maybe length with priority too, side exit
Yeah.
improvements.
Yeah, that's.
This
yeah.
is the one where it talks about the left side, of the east or the west side.
So maybe this first one is only doing the patio area.
Yeah.
It's petition, flagstone. Remove flagstone. Wall, uneven rocks and install a retaining wall. So this one says it's gonna redo the steps though too. So then I'm trying to understand like, yeah, what,
What's the difference between those?
Yeah.
right, I mean, I don't want us to duplicate work. I'm okay with doing things in phases, but let's not do something and then redo it.
Right,
Yeah.
right.
I mean, there's
Yeah.
got, again, like we said, she's smart and efficient, so there's gotta be some
She'll have a,
reason
yeah,
that it's been set out this way.
yeah.
All right, so we got some placeholders for that.
Yep. So I'm gonna try and set up some time with her to meet her and go over there and, cause I need a
Yes, you
visual.
can.
Because I can.
Exactly. And it is, I think when you see it,
Yeah.
both sides are challenging.
Yeah. Well, I mean, you're switching a whole floor between the front and the back.
Yeah.
No matter which side you go on, it's
You're going down.
8 to 10 feet anyway.
Now, did Sue's email include the
That's the
updated,
ones in here. That's,
did it include the updated spreadsheet?
No.
No, okay. All right. But it just had that one change.
See, you probably got, it was a
Well,
reply to all, so you
It's
probably got
technically
it.
two changes, because the kiln's gonna move up.
Oh, yeah, yeah, I'm
25 to
sorry.
26, and then we're adding windows at
That's right.
72,000
Yep.
Oh, that was 72, okay.
for 2029.
Okay.
Got it.
How much is the kiln that's in here?
47,000.
47, so they're bringing that in. So, did anybody else change anything?
For the school.
No, just in general.
Anywhere.
I did make some changes through the town, but we haven't actually,
Okay, we can stick with the school first. I don't want to jump around. So this needs to, so the 75. Is that the windows, the 75,000?
72.
Two, I thought you said.
I know, but I'm looking at the sheet,
They're not on this sheet.
so they're not
They
here
were
at all.
placeholders on her original spreadsheet that she submitted with the requests.
But they're not in the
They didn't-
updated
They
one.
didn't have a figure attached, right?
Okay.
So the replacement windows,
I probably have it in hidden columns.
so the replacement windows went to 2029?
Correct.
Okay.
2029, so that's another, so the 2029 is a plus 72K.
Is that how much the windows are?
Yeah, that's what it says.
Yeah.
in the-
Okay, but the 47 actually moves into
Right,
2025.
so the
Right.
47, that goes to 2025.
So it's a, yeah, right.
That's not a lot of windows. So police. All right, how about in the town stuff? What?
Okay,
What's been moved?
so, when we had our first meeting, Vaughn had updated the cruiser. It was estimated back in 2021 or so, and then there was like a 3% increase. Just with the cost of vehicles since COVID, she did update that for 2025 for 50,000, and then I applied that 3% incremental increase over the subsequent years, going out to 2030,
Mhm.
on the assumption that we'll still be replacing a cruiser every year.
Right,
Technology expendable trust fund remained the same. The station replacement planning and building, we had, we had 40,000 allocated for the design engineering end of it for 2024, and that failed to receive
Right.
ballot vote this year. So the question is do we move it forward into 2025? That one I did include, that original request was from 2023 with a total project cost of $3,540,000. Obviously, we hadn't reflected that across the CIP plan. We had the 40,000 estimated for the planning feasibility analysis, and then approximately 2 million for 2027.
And what are you saying it is now?
The original submittal that hasn't been updated, it was 40,000 for the planning
Yeah.
feasibility, 250,000 for architecture and engineering fees, 2.9 for construction, and then 350,000 for furnishing and equipment.
That was the original, or that's the updated?
That's the original. This
Original.
has not been updated.
So that original has to get updated on the spreadsheet, if that's what you
I'm
guys,
not sure when it changed through the years.
Down to 2 million.
Yeah.
Yeah, because that's,
yeah.
what's the date on that one?
January 10th of 23 was
So
when
that
it was
was-
originally prepared and submitted.
That was
And that
January
was
2.
still proposed for 27
Yeah.
back then?
Oh,
So, I'm sorry, what did
That
you-
was still proposed to happen in 27, or no?
It was actually proposed for 2023.
Yeah, I was gonna, okay, so that's what, so the whole thing was proposed for 2023.
Correct.
right.
And was it even in the CIP then, at all?
I have to look back through. 2023. No, it looks like it got bumped forward.
Right.
I'll have to get into those archive spreadsheets, because I go from,
that's
I
fine.
started 2023 and it's not there.
That's fine.
So, so the original request was much higher, and then somewhere along the line, that number got reduced to 2 million,
Yeah,
but we don't know why. Okay,
right, because it was, so it was 450 for what? Sorry. The 40,000 was
for
the
the
set.
planning and feasibility,
Yeah,
another 250,000 for architecture and engineering fees,
I'm sorry, how much was that?
250,000,
Engineering and architecture?
2.9 for the construction,
2.9, I thought you said 2.3.
no, 2.9. And then 350,000 for furnishings and equipment.
350.
So,
So, and I did include a copy of that original in your package.
okay, great, thank you.
Oh, okay.
Perfect, but,
Yeah,
Sorry.
I haven't looked that far in. Oh, yeah,
But-
you should have said that first.
so what's
She's
there
teasing us.
is, the 2 million that's in there is completely unrealistic.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Apparently, if these numbers are anything close,
She has some
because
other source of funding.
it's like 350 or 3.5.
Yeah.
That's what I meant, not
Yeah,
350.
yeah. So,
Oh, jeez.
that was requested by Fawn. Okay, so is that something that the select board is gonna look at and say, do we really wanna put that forward request in 2027?
I'm sure that is
Yeah.
something that, well, we should be saying that, this committee should be saying that,
Right.
not the select board.
Select board should be looking at this plan and saying,
Okay,
We should,
so-
us.
So it's not like a
committee should
warrant
be saying-
article where the
Right.
select board is,
No, because that's
Okay.
like a whole year out, that's,
so,
yeah, it's at least a year out on this paper.
sure, right, okay,
The select board will be looking at that 40,000.
right, fair enough. Okay. So, I mean, is the action here that this spreadsheet needs to get updated with those original numbers so that we're looking at something that's more realistic?
I'm wondering that, or, I mean, I think that's a great question for Fawn. You know, I don't know where the 2 million came from, or if somebody just said, oh, that's too high,
It
let's
sounds like
just,
a flood figure.
let's
It
just make it
does,
2
yeah,
million
yeah.
instead, which would be inefficient and
Irresponsible.
irresponsible,
Yeah.
so.
Does look like a plug number to me.
So we need feedback from Fawn to see
Yep.
what that amount actually is and when she truly is targeting.
And to be honest with you, it's probably one of those things that's gonna have to be established in the planning and feasibility analysis, I mean.
Right, well,
unless-
I mean, but I guess we need to understand need
Yes.
to make those decisions. So, and yes, I told Fawn I need to go have a little tour and
Mhm.
things like that, so.
I'd like to do that.
She's like, come by anytime. Well, I was away for a couple weeks. So I talked to her at the election.
Moving on to fire rescue, the portable radio replacement that was earmarked for 2025, that was 150,000, that's been removed completely. We were successful in obtaining the
The
grant.
Yep.
So the only thing that's left on there right now is the base radio replacement for 15,000. It looks like we were able to, we're gonna be able to acquire 26 portable radios, so that will take care of
Oh, okay, so
the
you already
large
actually
portion
did
that I
remove
spent,
that.
but
You did, looks like you actually removed it already.
I did remove it, yeah. But the 15,000 remains because the portable waste replacement wasn't part of that grant funding.
So
Mhm.
okay.
Well, that's,
So that's just based on the original submittal, from the former chief. That was an estimate provided back in 2022.
so, it's
Is it sufficient?
probably not. If that's from 2022, it's probably not sufficient. So we probably need an update.
The 15.
Right, the 15 is probably not sufficient. It's probably 20.
Yeah.
At least.
Yeah.
And the flooring is completely taken out?
Flooring is completely taken out. It's not necessary, it just needs to be stripped and waxed.
That is true.
Wait a minute, where are you?
Still under fire and rescue, the first flooring replacement and miscellaneous repairs,
It's been removed from the worksheet.
2025, yeah.
Okay. Yep, yeah, no,
That
that
did
was
seem
huge.
very unnecessary.
So the only thing right now,
2+ year lead time on that, the ambulance replacement, okay. Wow, it's a 2-year lead time on a new ambulance?
Yeah,
yes,
well, this last one took forever.
this last one.
It's insane, huh?
So if we're projecting to buy a new one in 28, we won't get it till 30. Holy smokes.
And that's sufficient. 28 is a realistic year?
Yes.
Okay.
To have one in 30. Because that's
Well,
what,
that,
but we have,
well, that's what I was asking.
we have 2 now,
Yes, we do have two. So
so.
they're alternating them.
But
There,
does the 350 actually get spent in 28?
No, it doesn't get spent until,
you
so
received
it's
it.
gonna be a withdrawal from,
Right, but that's not gonna be until 2030, right? So why is it
we
showing?
have to place the order. So with this last one that we purchased, we did end up having to put a deposit on it. So a portion of it, just not the full expenditure.
Right, so how do we encumber it for that long?
You're
Basically,
not
right?
necessarily encumbering it because you're taking,
You're just-
you're taking it from the capital reserve fund.
Uh-huh.
So, but wouldn't this more accurately reflect the deposit in 2028 and then the total in 2030?
Potentially, but who knows? I mean, we might be in a better supply and demand standpoint a few years from now.
Would hope so.
Yeah,
If
so
there
it'll
is
be
a better
sitting in the,
turnaround.
it should be sitting in the capital reserve anyway, so it's
Yes.
not really,
True.
That's true.
okay.
The only other thing that was, I don't think any of the fire rescue was updated, other than the fact that we removed the portable radio replacement.
So we're not looking at a new engine or any kind of,
The next replacement was a tanker, but I think that's been pushed out beyond, it might be pushed out to 2031. I have to look at that, but
Mhm.
that was the next piece of equipment. I think it was originally earmarked for around 2029, 2030, and again, it got pushed out for whatever reason by estimates. Or maybe the department head at that time.
right, I mean, if the other one's lasting. All right, Public Works.
Public Works. The first change that I made, the original, that first line was for a replacement baler in the neighborhood of $12,000. We knew that that figure was insufficient. My last quote that I got for a smaller baler was about $16,000. At this point, our current baler, which we can no longer receive parts for, or obtain parts for, is still working, knock on wood. My recommendation and what I've put forward is we have an existing recycling center capital reserve fund, but it doesn't have it has a few $100s in it.
Mm-hmm.
My recommendation would be to put money in that capital reserve fund for when it fails and we need to replace it. $20,000 was just an estimate that I pulled out there, thinking that, hey, if it costs us $18,000 or it costs us $20,000, if there is any residual, will remain in that fund, and then to start building that fund over the next 5 years to deal with the next piece of equipment that might need, if we have to replace the compactor or something significant. That way, we're not having these huge expenditures.
That sounds like a reasonable plan.
Yep.
So I did change that one, like I said, from the baler to just adding to that existing capital
So
reserve.
we added in capital reserve and use the other one till it's dead.
Correct.
So is that enough though, Ellen, going forward, 2,500 per year, is that
I
enough?
wasn't sure, I put a plug figure in there because we don't know, there isn't a lot, I mean, the other two balers are in good working condition, we have them serviced, even this one, we have it serviced every year to keep them running.
What,
The compactor was replaced 2-3 years ago.
yeah, I think,
So the hope is that if we continue to maintain these and have that portion of it taken care of.
what is the wording on that capital reserve? Because is it just, we gotta be careful of that wording for equipment type things.
Yes.
Yep.
Cause if it covers like, the Kubota thing or whatever it is, the Bobcat or,
Yeah, it was established in 1995, so I'd have to go back and,
yeah, it's fine. We don't need to know now.
but I can
It's
find
more
that
of
out
a-
for you.
It's more of a, when we do this big amount, do we need to change the wording on that?
Mhm.
Yeah, I mean, I would also really look at that 2,500, because really all you're doing then is beyond the 20, you're only adding 5,
Mhm.
10, 12 grand, 15 grand, and is that gonna be, if something else fails, is that gonna cover it?
Right.
Okay.
Okay, so we talked about the library parking lot. Oh, anything else in that stuff?
The culvert replacement for Kelsey Cooper and Berry Road. I somewhat went off the original plans, which were 100,000, 800,000, and 850,000. Now, this was based on us designing, engineering these replacement culverts and having a company come in and do them. With our present highway director and his crew, he's very confident that box culverts can be installed by the department, which could be a significant savings.
Oh, yeah,
That'd be
yes,
nice.
What
very
we need
much.
to do is we need to get, we've already spent 35,000 apiece on the culvert the design portion of it without the wetlands permitting. He needs to check with Minji Thorpe or even Shade just to see what the cost of those box culverts would be in present day, and then factor in what he might need for larger equipment to do so in-house. So I've highlighted them on my sheets, you might not be able to see, I don't think it copied through, but these are areas which would be significant. I mean, we've talked about having to bond in order to make them happen, and that might not be the case anymore.
So the Cooper Hill one, how does that play in with the state's
Oh, yeah.
redesign? That doesn't? Bummer.
Yeah.
Because that would have,
Actually, I think it, now that you say that, I think it does. I think we still have to deal with the guardrail end of it. but-
because if we can get the state to foot the bill on a lot of that, that'd be huge.
Right.
Yeah.
Could be.
Let me double check with Steve on that one.
Yeah.
Or do they just discontinue
Discontinue it and not have a way.
it? Well, because the road's probably not gonna go where it does now.
Right. there-
Right, but, so maybe it's not needed at all then.
Right, that's what I'm
Right,
saying.
that's what he's
Yeah.
saying. Yeah. Okay,
I mean, there's still they've got to cross it somewhere.
Sorry, I shouldn't be talking.
It's okay.
No, you're public.
could you come up and say your name?
Yeah, can you sit up there, please, sir?
Your address?
Okay, so I just make sure I get this right. So we've got 100 in 2025, 826 and 850 and 28.
And that's just based off the original proposals that were submitted
Yeah.
by Sean.
But those could reduce significantly.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Okay.
Great.
Because we have the expertise to do it.
Potentially do it in-house,
Okay,
rather than contracting it out.
okay. And what's your next step for that?
We need to find out from CMA, our engineers, where we're at in the design phase and see what exactly was spec'd out for the culvert replacement, and then find out how much those box culverts are for each. There's 2 on Berry, 1 on Cooper, 1 on Kelsey.
Okay. Okay, and then based on that, based on the design, you'll be able to determine if we can do it
Correct.
ourselves. Okay.
There's no other changes on Public Works.
We talked about library.
We talked about recreation in prior
So,
meetings.
right, so none of that's changed.
Yeah. And there is no projections for up to 30. I think they're just still trying to accomplish
Catch up.
what they've got
Mhm.
going on now.
I think, yeah, they need to start thinking about that stuff.
They do.
There was a past request from the cemetery trustees to address Southside Cemetery. I did speak with Mike Bascom about 6 weeks ago, and he said both North and Southside Cemetery could really use repaving. So this kind of goes hand in hand with the library parking lot reconfiguration. It's a smaller paving project, which would be more feasible for a smaller paving company to do rather than like R&D or Continental that normally does our road
Mhm.
projects.
Yep.
So this is something else that we need one of those companies to come in and give us a cost estimate, what it might,
Okay.
and whether or not it can be pushed forward in 25 or if we can push it out a few more years.
Because we don't even have a price at all.
Right.
Yep.
Administration.
2-minute warning.
Yep, yep,
Okay.
yep, yep.
All right.
Administration. The,
Any changes? Changes, just if there's changes.
yeah, changes, community center back building. Warrant article approved 50,000 this year. We've got a lot of the demolition portion of it done, just bringing it down to bare walls. There's still a little bit more that needs to be done, and then it's a matter of encapsulating. So pretty much barricading that portion of the building from the front. So I put in a plug figure of 50,000 again. We had talked about potentially another 90 or 100,000, I think, for next year, but I have to get together with Alan Trant and just say, can you build a wall to separate the two? The audio video equipment update, that was originally plugged in at 50,000. I reduced it to 30,000 because we're talking about doing 2 phases now, moving this conference room over into what's the existing community room now. We would be using the $30,000 in cable franchise fees to build that room out with audio video equipment tying into the existing system. And then in 25, potentially updating the actual broadcast and recording equipment. Because it is going to be, originally it was planned for 50,000, that was 2 years ago. We're now adding a new room, new AV equipment. So to split it between the two in phases.
Mhm.
Do that room, tie into the existing, and then update the broadcasting equipment.
Okay,
And again, that comes from the cable franchise fund.
all right.
Accounting software replacement was 40,000. I got some preliminary estimates, and I've actually reduced that down to 30,000 because a lot of companies are now cloud-based. It's still going to be a significant rollover, but I've pushed that out to 2026. I think that was originally earmarked for 2024, and we just keep pushing it out. Right now, we're schlepping through. Our current provider has already moved to a cloud-based software, and we're losing our support on the software, which is now 15 years old. We're making it work. Unfortunately, our hands are tied when we have to get to the point we'll have to do it, but.
Yep. Okay.
And then the solar power system was 121. I don't know why it increased because according to the documentation that I looked at, it's 118, so I reduced that.
Okay,
Okay.
all right. I think we should wrap up.
Yep.
What would you like to do for your next meeting? Other than the first and third, when the board normally meets,
Right.
you won't have time constraints unless you wanted to move it to another night. The other boards that meet on evenings start at 7, so that could potentially give you another half hour if you wanted to try to do it prior to like on a Thursday
Not a
night.
Tuesday.
Yeah, Tuesday isn't good for me.
Thursday would probably be okay.
Yeah, Thursday's okay. We do have a budget committee.
Or the other Monday, or the opposite Mondays are fine.
Yeah.
Okay, do you want me to put out a poll to the other members and see?
Yeah,
Yeah, that'd be great.
Get
Okay.
touch base with them.
So-
just to-
So let's just be clear that we know what we're gonna do at the next
Right.
meeting. So,
So we're gonna get updates from the school, the library. PD needs an update on the station stuff.
yep.
John, if you make an appointment with Fawn, will you just circle me in on that too?
Sure.
And
Yeah.
you don't have to bother her
Same.
twice?
Sure, I gotta
Great, thank
see when I can fit it in.
Is there a problem if 3 of us go at the same time with there being a quorum on this committee? Ellen?
If we just post notice,
Okay.
24 hours.
And I'm gonna go to the library. I don't know if anybody wants to come to the library with me.
I think I'm up on the library.
You're up on the
Yeah.
library.
I mean, I was gonna try and do stuff when I can.
Yeah, that's fine,
My schedule's a little busier than,
Sounds like a plan.
yeah. No comment.
okay.
And I can update what we discussed tonight to add in those library projects and
Right.
the school update, and I'll send it over the worksheet.
Thank you.
Thanks.
And update my email, please.
Yes, that's important.
I don't want you to be
I'll make a
left out.
motion that we adjourn.
Yeah,
Second
all
that.
right. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? None? Adjourned.